All right, so basically Ian Garry is absolutely delusional, and that's what I want to talk about in today's video. Of course, he fought MVP at UFC 303. It was a really boring fight where basically he had nothing at all for MVP on the feet whatsoever and resorted to grappling in the first round, which was impressive, and also winning the third round by getting the back with about 2 minutes to go because MVP did nothing with top position and let him get back up in that round. That is what happened in the fight. In round 2, he got schooled on the feet and had absolutely nothing for MVP. Ian Garry doesn't quite remember it that way. This guy is making stuff up, absolutely delusional, and it just goes to show, once more, delusion is the best base for MMA. You will not get far in this sport with a logical mind. You must be delusional. Let's have a little listen to what Ian Garry thought of the fight and how Ian Garry thought the fight went. Let's have a little listen here, okay?
I frustrated. Like, I snake charmed a snake charm in my mind. I made him frustrated.
A really weird way of making him frustrated. Of course, he's talking about the stand-up here. He snake charmed the snake charmer. I mean, he literally just had nothing to offer MVP on the feet whatsoever. Barely landed a single shot on him. But he frustrated him. Snake charmed the snake charmer. That's not what I saw happen, to be honest with you, Ian Garry. But keep going.
He likes people to do that dance with him, to move, to keep that flow, that rhythm, and he works well off that rhythm, that timing. I hit him with stealth mode. I walked him down, I prayed him. You know, he didn't have a lot of success. I didn't have a lot of success on the feet. I wobbled him in the second round with a right hand. I seen his eyes go, and I was like...
He's making stuff up! He's just making stuff up! He was in stealth mode. He was stalking MVP down, you guys. Believe me, you guys. Trust Ian Garry. He's not lying, everyone. He was stalking MVP down, dude. He caught MVP with a right hand in round 2 and saw his eyes go. That never happened. I literally had to rewatch round 2 in half speed to see where this mythical right hand of Ian Garry landed on MVP. He's completely made it up. I don't think we've ever seen this before. This is just making shit up for no reason. You didn't land like a single good shot on MVP in round 2, let alone a shot that made his eyes roll back. Let me listen to this one more time, sorry.
Stealth mode. I walked him down, I prayed him. You know, he didn't have a lot of success. I didn't have a lot of success on the feet.
I can say that again.
Wobbled him in the second round with a right hand. I seen his eyes go.
Wobbled him in the second round with a right hand. I seen his eyes go. You can't tell me that having a logical brain works out in MMA, because this guy is about to, he's matching, I believe, Usman's streak before he got the belt. I think he's 8-0 in the UFC now. He's put together a really strong streak of wins in the UFC. And he's undefeated as well. And you can get to that point in MMA by making shit up about your fight, basically. That is a mindset you can get away with in the sport of MMA right now. Stunning. Fascinating stuff here. Let me just listen one more time about that.
Didn't have a lot of success on the feet. I wobbled him in the second round with a right hand. I seen his eyes go, and I was like...
Never happened. Completely made up. I've seen the second round. I watched back the whole fight. I'm so sad I had to do that. But just to cross-reference some of the things that Ian Garry remembers happening that just never happened. When did he wobble MVP with a right hand? I swear to God, he didn't land anything significant in round 2, other than maybe a low kick. There's more to the delusion, by the way. But let's have a little listen here. So why does he even mention, that he wobbled him with a right hand?
His eyes go, and I was like, patience. I've been saying all week, I said it to Damon, I said it to Diego, I said it to everyone on my team. The key to beating Michael Venom Page was patience. Because he will give me the gaps and he will make the mistakes because I will make him make the mistakes.
He literally had nothing for him on the feet in this fight. I know you can say, oh, maybe he's talking about the mistakes of giving up his back. I assure you that's not what Ian Garry was speaking about in that whole little speech he did about round 2. And I wobbled him. I seen the eyes go. He was wobbled. And I decided I needed to be patient. He will make the mistakes and I will capitalize. He has completely made up the way the fight went in his head. And it is remarkable. It is remarkable that this mindset can exist at the top of MMA in 2024. Really interesting stuff. We want to go ahead here and look a little bit further ahead and break down another moment in the interview here.
How many calf kicks you see me throw? Out of the, and I will say this now, the 2 single greatest people in the world that have calf kicks are me and Alexi Pereira.
He's making stuff up! This guy. There's no way he believes this shit. I've only seen Ian Garry effectively low kick one opponent, and it's Neil Magny. That's it. Like, that is legit the only opponent I think we've seen in his UFC, other than maybe Song Kanan. He was chopping some pretty good low kicks there as well. But let's not just start chucking yourself amongst Alex Pereira company. And of course, he called him Alexi because he lived in Brazil now for a few months, so he has to do that to show how Brazilian he is. Fucking annoying. It's like when Ariel Helwani calls Nate Diaz Nathan. So fucking annoying. Either way, he's making stuff up. You do not have the best calf kicks in the game right now, dude. There are world champions with low kicks that are implementing them well in MMA fights. This guy is making shit up. I do not believe that he actually believes that.
Single greatest people in the world that have calf kicks are me and Alexi Pereira. I didn't throw any today in him. I threw one behind the height of the knee because he just turned a little bit too much and I pulled the trigger on it. What he wants you to do.
And he goes on to speak about the fact that he wasn't throwing low kicks because that's what MVP wants, which is true, by the way. But, like, you don't even have the... There's people in Pereira's division with better calf kicks than you. I would say Rakic literally has better low kicks and calf kicks than Ian Garry. And I didn't even have to leave Pereira's division. We're not talking bantamweight, featherweight, all these real high-skilled divisions. You can look in the heavier weight classes. I'd say Aspinall's got a real nasty low kick, and maybe even Cyril Gane compared to Ian Garry. It's him and Pereira, you guys. Trust me. And by beating Neil Magny with them, that's how you reach that Pereira level of low kicks. Okay? Really interesting stuff from Ian Garry here. It's really cool to look into get a peek behind the curtain. I'm not talking about Ian Garry's bedroom situation, what he gets up to in the bedroom. But either way, it's really good to get a peek behind the curtain and just see the mindset of some of these fighters where they just are making shit up sometimes. We move a little bit forward as well. 3 minutes and 41. I can't believe he said he wobbled MVP. I went through the whole round. He didn't land a fucking good punch in that round. He did not land a good punch in that whole round. Wobbled him. Saw his eyes go. All right, whatever gets you by, dude. Literally had nothing on the feet and kind of got exposed for bad striking, but it's MVP.
I'm going to be so dangerous. I've told you this. Domination is coming on the feet and on the ground.
It's not what I would have called that MVP performance. All good.
I don't know how I ended up on the ground today. I locked my triangle up. I went, fuck it. Let me try cut him up. Let me try hit him with some elbows, cut him open. But I'm so active. For me, if anyone puts me on my back, I know how to get up. I know how to get up and I know how to stay safe. So I was like, let's try to take advantage of it.
So
he didn't get back up. That needs to be mentioned. I know if I get put down, I know I can get back up. MVP let him up. And he couldn't get up aside from that. I think he got like one butterfly hook. And then MVP was just like, let me let him up. I've won a few minutes on top in his mind, even though Ian Garry was doing some little busy work with some mini punches here and there. MVP let him up in the third round. So it's just like another thing where he's taking this win from it. And it's like, that never happened in the fight though. But maybe this is the mindset you've got to have. A lot of people are talking about Jamal Hill delusional, but maybe you gotta be delusional. Maybe that's how it works. 5 minutes and 58. Here we go. Another moment.
for that. And today I went out there and I had some fun, and I showed a different part of my game that I didn't necessarily need to nor want to show off today, but...
You didn't need to show the ground game, did you? Had it all under control on the feet, did Ian Garry, you guys? He didn't even need to show off that part of his game.
The world is the way it is, and I had some fun.
He didn't need to show off that part of his game. He didn't need to nor want to. He just kind of happened. He didn't need to show off the ground game. He had it all under control, you guys. This is what Ian Garry will have you believe. So far, this is what Ian Garry will have you believe. He kicked MVP off of him from on bottom position and got back up, dude. You should have seen the scramble we pulled off, dude. It was like this insane Granby roll we hit. Gamrot level stuff. Gamrot Sarukian level scrambles from Ian Garry to get back up. And not to mention that time that he wobbled MVP in round 2 and saw his eyes go back in his head. And then decided, no, I need to be patient here. I don't need to rush and sleep this guy. He had it all under control on the feet, you guys. He didn't need to grapple in this fight. It's so interesting to see the bullshit some fighters come up with. Very, very interesting. Because some of these guys have like sports psychologists. So I wonder if having a sports psychologist in MMA is just a guy in a room with his legs crossed with a pipe just going, just mix shit up. I don't know. I don't know how these sports psychologists work, but I don't know. 9:53, another moment here. I don't even remember half of these. I did it yesterday. But
I can do it. I've just beat the fastest guy in the division other than me when it comes to striking.
Oh, yeah? Other than him. Yeah, he was way faster than MVP, you guys. Whoa, dude. MVP was confused at the speed of Ian Garry out there. You could see it on him. Frozen like a deer in the headlights, MVP was, you guys. He couldn't... Oh, dude, you should have seen this. MVP was quoted... After he come back too, after that round 2 punch that wobbled him, by the way. They had to like really put some ice on his neck and, you know, sort of slap him around a little bit backstage. Like, MVP, what's the matter with you, dude? You're still unconscious. He's wondering where he was after that shot that landed in round 2 from Ian Garry. He thought he'd been in there with a flash. I'm not even joking. He started talking comic book heroes, this, that. I did something about the Justice League. But eventually he came back too. And how does he believe he looked faster than an MVP? He was half the speed. Ian Garry's very good, but this is just really funny for me. Because I was listening to this like, okay, let me give Ian Garry a chance. I literally put this on after the fight, like yesterday, thinking, I'm going to give Ian Garry a chance. Let me just, you know what? He won. Fair play to him. He's a top contender now. He hasn't annoyed me too much recently. He had a cool video of him with his kid where the kid was doing impressions of Holloway. And I was like, okay, let me give this kid a chance. And out the jump of this interview, he's talking about an imaginary punch that rocked MVP. But we continue a little longer, though. What was this last one? Maybe it doesn't even need to be included, but maybe I've obviously put it here for a reason. 12:42.
We've ever seen. I can get up against all of them. It's not an issue. Tonight, I don't know how I ended up there. It was just, I think it was a clash. I ended up on bottom. I closed the triangle. I went, fuck it, let's see if I can cut him open. I instantly went, GSP Michael Bisping. Let's see if we can pump blood down his forehead and make him leave him there with a mark that he'll remember. But I was more active. I landed more elbows. I landed more shots. And then I went, all right, let's stand up. That was my decision.
And last
Oh, yeah, that's why. That's why I included that. Fair play, he was doing some little mini elbows. Nothing effective, by the way. But that's why I included this. That little bit at the end. Let me play it one more time.
Landed more shots, and then I went, all right, let's stand up. That was my decision.
All right, let's stand up. That was my decision. MVP legitimately stood fucking back up. He was on top. Ian Garry was body triangling himself on bottom position, by the way, which is locking himself in that position. He got one leg to a butterfly hook. That is all he did. And MVP literally just went, yeah, I'll just stand up out of guard now and let him up. So it's just so interesting to me. Maybe he, you know what this kind of speaks to? Either Ian Garry is completely delusional, or this MVP fight took a big chunk out of his ego, and this is how he's coping with it. Because remember, during the build-up, he's going to be a different level to MVP on the feet. I'm going to be so much faster. He's never been in there with a guy as fast as him. There was all of this, like, think these things that Ian Garry has basically built his brand off of saying about himself, right? All of these things that are going to get him to the belt. It's his speed, it's his striking, how he understands range. And I think being in there with MVP was like, oh shit, I'm Bilal Muhammad. I need to be Bilal to win this. And that might really take a chunk out of his ego, and this is just how he's coping with it. Because, listen, I've heard excuses like that I was faster out there, even though someone wasn't. Okay, maybe he just doesn't really know and can't really see from an outside perspective. And there's always been other excuses as well. Like, dude, I was chewing up his legs and the guy really landed like 4 or 5 and it wasn't even that bad. So I've heard that before. I've never heard some bullshit like what he said at the start. I think it's around 1 minute 15. Let me play it again.
I was like, patience. I wobbled him in the second round with a right hand. I seen his eyes go.
That never happened. He's making shit up. He's literally just making shit up. So really interesting stuff there from Ian Garry. As I said, making shit up completely. Is what it is. I just had to make a video about this. I'm trying to find fun. I watched it and I thought, nah, fuck this, dude. I need to fucking tell you. I need people to see how fucking delusional he's being right now. But good win, dude. I guess we'll see him against Shavkat Rakhmonov or Colby Covington. One or the two. Ay, dude. I tried to give him a chance. That's why I watched this interview in the first place. I remember telling my chat yesterday, did you guys see that Ian Garry said he brocked MVP in round 2? I've watched back the whole round. It never happened. I tried to give him a chance. I was like, dude, okay, maybe his life choices are his life choices. However he wants to navigate, living with a micropene is how he wants to navigate life. But then it's just a minute in and it's just like, fuck, dude, why can't you be liked? Goodbye. See you later. Toodle pip.